Shut up and sit down.
COVID-19 time. You're on third shift. Oh, it's over. I knew this day would come, everybody. I didn't know it'd be episode 188, but I can't breathe. I'm sad.
I just did the cartoon fall over and like a lily
and the soul comes out.
Chest.
Oh, you got the cat.
The flower.
Oh, the flower. Okay, I'm going with the soul's like coming out of my mouth. You know.
There you go. Yeah.
And then takes off. Yeah. Just joking, everybody. Nobody's dead, but quarter end is upon us. We are essential. Work has demanded our souls.
So we're dead in a different way. We're not dead from sickness. We're just dead from
exhaustion, tired, mental. Yeah. And the fact that we have had issues at work with the COVID-19. So now it's all every man's game. Nobody knows what's going to happen next. Might be Matt, might be me. Who knows? I just know I had to switch my whole life around. So I'm worried because when you do that, if you're not aware, it usually messes your immune system up and opens you up to colds and other problems. And if I get a cold, they're going to send me home for 7 days. And then it comes out of my own time, and that's very sad. And I don't want that to happen. So I'm trying to be extra careful so that does not happen. But here we are in the middle of our quarter end. It's a sad time. But we're here to give you a nice little show because that's what we do around here at the third shift. And with that being said, we got to jump right in and ask Matt, hey, well, you already know, but hey, how's your week been, Matt?
Oh, man, work sucks and I hate my life. But the one part of my life that I don't hate is when I go into the lunchroom and I pull out my Nintendo Switch and I lean back in the chair, like lean back real far, and I set that Switch on my belly and I play Animal Crossing New Horizons because that game, I said it a million times, that game makes me smile, it makes me happy, it makes me feel good when I play it, and it's just what I need right now in the midst of quarter end and stupidness and all of just the everything. Because it's Bunny Day.
Everybody's been saying, man.
I shake trees and Easter eggs fall out, dude. It's a magical time.
Oh, that sounds magical.
It is magical. I'm unlocking DIY recipes, crafting recipes for all these beautiful pastel things, and everything's cute and wonderful. I'm like, wow, this is good. This is the life.
You just reminded me. I've got to get on World of Warcraft because it's Easter time there, and you can go find the Easter bunny eggs all over Elwyn Forest and stuff. So that sounds like a real peaceful thing to do. Just go find eggs in the Elwyn Forest and have a good time.
So there you go.
Yeah, that'll help me out.
It will. Hey, you know what? It helps me out for that 45 minutes I get to play. I feel great. Other than that, I think I beat Coffee Talk between the last show and this show. The visual novel Coffee Brewing, cool character just talk around doodle-to-do thing. Really enjoyed that game. I think it was only like $13, so and I used like my Nintendo Switch points to even get a discount on it. But definitely is worth the price of admission. If you like visual novels, if you like fun characters, if you like cool, chill, lo-fi hip-hop music, great game. Been playing, and then my two favorite games now. There are two favorite games, and they are something 5R. Yakuza 5 Remastered. Finally got back on stream, played some of that, had a great time. Hunting, like shooting bears. I kind of felt kind of bad, but you know what? It was a unique thing in a Yakuza game, man. Going up on a blizzardy mountain and trapping animals and shooting bears. It was wild. There was the one mission where there were like 90 bears on that mountain. It was crazy. And then the other blank 5R game, Persona 5 Royal. It feels so good. I streamed it twice now. I almost feel like I shouldn't stream it because I feel like I have to talk too much instead of just sitting back in my chair with a smile on my face going, yeah. Well, I remember this. Oh, yeah. But those games are both amazing. They both put smiles on my face, just like Animal Crossing does. It's a week of smiles on my face and then dead angry face when I'm at work. But how about you, Eric? How was your week?
Well, as I told you, quarter end startup, we flipped the script. I went over to night times working, daytime sleeping. It usually takes a day or two to get adjusted. It's a pain in the butt, but amidst it all, like you said, played a little bit of, I think it was Wolfenstein, maybe.
We did play some Wolfenstein,
we played some Wolfenstein, so that was always a great time. We got leveled up finally. We went ahead and did that last big mission, found out that she's actually got like 10 submissions to do. And we went, well, okie dokie, that's not going to happen right now.
Mm-hmm.
So put that one to rest for the moment. And like Matt said, Persona 5 Royal came out. So in between the sleep and all the garbage here, I've been getting on there and just... It's so beautiful. It's so wonderful. The additions, the little tiny things that I can't even remember if they were in there or not in there before, but they're definitely in there now, and I definitely notice them now. It's so nice. And then, like, one small one, I just want to mention one small thing that I appreciate a lot is the loading screens when you're going from building to building, like the practice building over to the main building and stuff. I swear this was not in there before. It used to just be, like, shadow students and things moving. And now occasionally it shows like Ryuji in there with his like shark face or Ann or whatever, you know. And I'm like,
it definitely was in there, but it was really rare because it was a lot of times like it was during the free time segments. If you went out in the hallway, you'd see Ryuji go, and then he'd be in the hall. So yeah, it was there, but not very much. Now one thing that I noticed just on this last stream is it was doing the walk into school, you know, listen to people's conversations thing. And in the back, with her face hidden by like the early morning thing, Makoto was walking.
Nice.
And I was like, you couldn't even see, if you knew, you couldn't tell because their face was gone, but the outfit and everything, and you could see the hair coming out the side. And I was like, there's no way they would have done it before. There's no way, absolutely none.
And see, and that's how I feel that one where Sai and Akechi were walking the opposite direction you that one time you were going this way, and they just blew right past you, and I'm like,
yep.
What? No, that wasn't there last time. What's going on here? This is crazy. So, it's nuts to play this game again, being as I've done it twice basically, and still going through this time. All these little things I ain't noticing from last time or weren't even there last time. The touch-ups. Such a good game. Expect to hear more about it at some other time. Oh, yeah. But I can't wait to play it more. And other than that, there's some other game we were playing, but we'll mention that, I'm sure. For the moment, that's about it. It's just a lot of work and things going on. The weather's getting brighter here. A lot of yard work going on. The family's been outside burning. Got the little one out there to try to get her to ride her two-wheel bicycle, and that's going to take a little more work. She's not quite there yet, but we'll finish it up. We'll have her ready to go before summer hits, and hopefully go camping, assuming all this will be done by summer at some point. Who knows? For now, hey, I'm putting the blinders on and keep marching forward, you know?
That's right. So that was us individually this week. Together as a team this week, IG2G episode 75 was crammed into your ear holes. We had a great discussion about two games that could not possibly be any more different, although they are the same in a certain way, as in smiles on faces and great times to be had. And then, hey man, it's always release time. There's always cool stuff in the releases too.
Yep, I enjoyed this show a lot. I loved the conversation, and the reason I didn't mention Doom is because, of course, with that IG2G, I told you guys all about playing Doom and having a great time with it, so I didn't feel like the need to reiterate. So there you have it. It was good, it was fun, and it still is a wonderful game that I'll get back to once I have tasted of Persona 5 Royal just a little bit more.
Absolutely. Coming up next week, we ain't got nothing, so challenge us to an art competition. Hey, remember those? Remember like episode like 4 when we started doing that? And then for the last like 88 to 100 to 188 episodes, we didn't do it anymore. Man, challenge us to an art competition. It's cool. But you know what else is cool? You know what's actually cool?
What's really cool?
Because that thing won't ever happen. Because this thing that happens all the time, that's really cool. Shift codes for Golden Keys in Borderlands, the pre-sequel. And boom, we got 10 shift codes. Well, we got a shift code for 10 golden keys in Borderlands 3, and on top of all that, the latest Twitch Prime Borderlands 3 big old megaton drop has dropped. You get the Streamer McGeemer shotgun, I don't remember the name of it, Stream Enormous, something like that, but then you also get 3 golden keys in that too. So goddamn, how much more free loot could you get? Hit up the Twitter, the Reddit, the forums, the Instagram. Hit up your preferred shift code provider and get yourself some free loot. I won't do it, but you should.
You should, Matt, for God's sakes. You're an insane person, I'm telling you. But, you know, speaking of free, Risk of Rain 2, everybody. Hey, you've been sitting there going, I want to play this game. I really want to try it out. But, you know, I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. It's over. This weekend on Steam, you can go play it for free. So please, get on over there and check it out, for goodness sakes. I for sure we'll be doing that because this is a title that I've been like, man, I kind of want to play that, but I don't know. I got all these other games I really want to play and I've already purchased. And so I've hemmed and hawed about it. This is the opportunity, assuming I'm not sleeping and doing quarter end and can't even function as a human being.
And 2 bonuses on that. First, it's an actual extended weekend. It starts today, I think, the 2nd of April, and goes through the 6th. So you get some Friday, Saturday, Sunday time, maybe leaving a little bit of Monday if it doesn't end too soon on that. So that's a good deal. Jump in on that. And then, boom, it's the perfect time to jump in because the 4th content update, the Artifacts update, has dropped exclusively for the Steam releasers. All the PC Joneses, you can jump in and play the new hotness while all of us console dweebs go, oh, golly gee, I wish I could play that. Blah, blah, blah. But it's the perfect time for some Risk of Rain free playing. It's a great time.
It is a great time. And speaking of great times, just a reminder that the co-op loot drop for Borderlands 3 is going on until April 30th. And what we mean by that, hey, you got friends or even strangers that you just want to maybe be friends with eventually, team up, play Borderlands 3 right now with them, and loot drops are increased all across the board for you. You're going to be getting all sorts of legendaries. We've seen it all over Twitter. People just posting these screens full of legendaries, full of the little yellow stars on the map. It's nuts right now. Gearbox is just really raining down the happiness, keeping people smiling faces during this whole little, outbreak and whatnot. It's very appreciated.
And I will say we definitely did get a whole bunch of legendary drops, but one place that they really put a smile on my face, and now they reached onto my face and took it away. They literally turned my face around and turned my smile upside down, turned it into a frown, is because the Doorbusters event is now over. So every time I went to a vending machine, or anytime you went to a vending machine and went, oh, dude, there's a really good Magnum Opus Johnny Joe 5000 in here, and I'd run up, and I wouldn't have that, but I'd have the Mickey Moo Shooter-Brew, and I'd be like, oh, wow, cool. What's this vending machine got? Oh, what's that one way over there got? Oh, my God, this is so cool. And now that that's over, I'll just go, vending machines are worthless. I don't care.
Now, you're accurate in that statement. However, they replaced it with another machine that now is worth something because
True.
This week you've got Slot Machine Mania to satiate your need of getting legendaries out of a machine. They went ahead and upped the chances of you getting a legendary exponentially, and then also
see this I got beef with this. This is the problem.
Up the chances of you getting a grenade exponentially. And then everything else has been reduced. You still have the chance at other things, but it's highly reduced, so that way you do get the legendaries and grenades. So this one now, Matt, is a surprise,
So it's not going to be a surprise. You know exactly what's going to happen. Every time you pull the lever, oh, man, I got a cool legendary. Oh, I'm going to go 3 more times. Legendary, legendary, legendary. And I'll go, and it'll go, and it'll go, beep, 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 beep. And I'll go, all right, I'll give it 3 more times. Beep, 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 beep. This event. No way. Not me. Not for me. Nuh-uh. Somehow the Borderlands luck got switched around. I'm not happy about it, and I don't like it. But for those of you who do have the good Borderlands luck still, for those who have acquired it by siphoning it out of the soul of your podcast co-host, enjoy your increased legendary drop rates from the slot machines.
It had to be done, all right? Listen.
I'll just be jealous.
I couldn't be sad for all eternity. It's just
You're meant to be sad for all eternity, damn it.
It's true, but you know what? There's been some blood packs made. There's been some things done. And I'm turning that frown upside down with a big old smile. Speaking of big old smiles, Trials Take-Alls, also another event they went ahead and threw in here, everybody, for this week's hot fix. And this one I'm stoked about because I like the trials. They were a lot of fun. They were challenging. They were entertaining. It was really good to have a couple of beers and go through these bad boys. Especially the Beast one. That one I thought was really fun. I enjoyed the Varkids and whatnot. Any of the Who's. Before this event happened, we got tons of legendaries out of those just normally. And now, hey, guess what? You go in there, you got a 100% chance to drop loot from the pools and the baddies in there while you're doing the event. So here's the time where you take advantage of both the co-op, loot boost you got, and going in and doing these trials to get the additional 100% loot drop. You'll have every freaking legendary in the game by the end of this week if you play your cards right. And then while your friend's being a doofus on the ship, going through his inventory like a moron and taking 5 years, that's fine. Go to the slot machines and just win yourself even more legendaries.
Good point. Yeah, I do. When I thought about this, and I was like, I don't do the trials that much. But then you mentioning the time that we went through it, it was a blast. It was a pleasure. It's one of those things that I like, since it is just like it funnels you along the path, and then you fight the boss, and then you get the chests too. Mm-hmm. It's like farming, but it's not farming because it's just constant combat all the time. It's what I like about Borderlands. So doing it with a buddy to make it even crazier, to get the co-op drops, to get the trials drops, it sounds fantastic. It sucks that we're on quarter end, so we can't do it that much, but it sounds really good. It's our favorite thing. You shrug your shoulders and go, I bet that would be great.
I bet it'll be great. And that is the saddest part. And that's why, to be honest with you guys, it's kind of a sad week for us because you're also all sitting there, I'm sure, going, you guys do know there's this new DLC in Borderlands 3. Did you know that? Yes, we are aware. We are very aware it's there. And we're going to play it someday. The problem is...
Hey, we did do some playing on that thing.
We did, and we'll get there. But the problem is with the quarter end, and especially with the flip of my life going on to the opposite side of the world, there's no way I can play with Matt. And the thing is I didn't make this promise, but I'm upholding it right now until such time as I think there's just no way it's going to happen. Well, I hope that doesn't happen. Matt wants to play with a buddy, being me, because guess what? Borderlands 3 is all about playing with friends and having a great time. We've talked about this before. This is what we want to try to do. And we did. We got in there and we got to the intro, did all the things, got to the lodge, accepted submissions, went out on the new town, checked it out a bit. And we'll talk about that more here in half a second. But we want to keep doing that. And to keep doing that, I've got to get my life flipped back around again so that way we can team up and play the game. Unfortunately, with quarter in here, this week is just shot, with all sorts of shotgun shells. So bear with us, everybody. We're going to get there. We're going to play, and we're going to have a great time with it and give our full take on the whole thing once we finish it. But it's going to be a little bit longer than usual just because life right now is banana land.
And see, I want to piggyback off of why don't you guys just do it solo? Because when we did play for, like an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, the whole time we were playing, it was, dude, come over and look at this. Dude, what's that over there? Oh, that's so cool. And us both going, oh, awesome. Going through the little town, finding all the shut-in people, listening to what they had to say, and sitting going, ha, 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 ha. Or finding the people who had the effects put on them somehow by whatever happened mysteriously.
And then trading off what Mose and Flack were saying, which was freaking really cool. Just getting that different, flavor text for, the character.
And just having somebody else to play off of where, if I was like, oh, that's a cool poster, and you were like, it was all right, but then you'd be like, oh, man, this one's really cool, and hearing the hype in your buddy's voice as you run over and go, wow, as opposed to hearing the no hype in my voice when I just look at something and go, in my head, that's neat. So it was 10 times better, plus we were drinking some beers and having fun, which makes things 10 times better on top of that. So that's why. That's the perfect encapsulation, because those moments that I remember of the DLC were all great and fun, and it was Borderlands like I like it to be. And
then speaking, of course, of how I like it to be, this one shows a lot of promise for me. It definitely gave me the Tiny Tina Dungeon Keep vibe. Yeah. Going to the new Zarlogos, or whatever the hell planet that is. With
Zarlogos.
With this whole, dark Cthulhu motif thing going on. Puts me in a different world, has me feeling like I'm in a completely different, unique area, and that's what I love. I love just feeling like I'm doing something completely different and completely new in the Borderlands universe, and so far, it's doing a real good job of it, and that fight, even in the beginning, oh man.
Well, and I gotta say, speaking of putting you in that vibe, there was that one echo log we picked up, because, you're running through the lodge a little bit, and you're like, oh, the lodge master, he seems like a weird creep guy. But then when we're out in the city, we picked up that echo log of the snake oil salesman. It's like, oh, I'll fix all your stuff. And then it's got that bit with the lodge master who comes up and he's like, ha ha, being himself. And you're like, oh, okay. But then he's like, I would advise against touching me. And it's just random screaming. and you don't know what happened, and then it cuts off, and he's like, ha ha ha, and walks off, and that's the end of it. Versus, any other thing in Borderlands where somebody dies in an echolog, they go, ha ha ha, I shot you, and I blew off your head, ha ha ha, I shot his leg off, do. It was just like, what happened? Who knows? Something happened somewhere. And just with the creep vibe, the creep atmosphere, it fit in perfectly. They did it so far, like you said, so much promise. They're doing it all the right ways that I like it. It's everything that I had hoped for, and so far nothing that I was afraid of. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean. Yeah,
I agree with that. I love the vibe of the lodge. Not the tenant, the innkeeper. That's what I'm going to call him, the innkeeper. I like how he seems like he's your friend, but of course everybody instantly is like, no, something's wrong with him. He's creepy. But at the same time, you see him already having issue with the current baddies, whom, as we went up the town, area, got farther and further along, and then helped Wainwright break into that little back end there because he wanted to see the mansion. And then you see those two dingle-dongs and the big cult meeting going on. And then you had that fight, which I was mentioning earlier, which I was super stoked about. I was like, to have a cool little mini boss fight that early, like right to get the thing going and killing him and then everything taking place. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely agree. I love the whole, just like the build up of it. Like, I feel like I don't know, it felt kind of special. Like you said, as you're walking around behind the scenes, essentially, hearing their whole ritual thing taking place, and then you bust in on it. It just felt like a nice, cool build-up. What's going on? There's some kind of creepy thing happening. I feel like we didn't get that a lot. It was usually like, run in, here's a bunch of psychos. Oh, no, it's a big one. And then, you did it. Get out to do it again. It felt special. It felt, They dialed up the creep a little bit.
They did, and then summoning in like the different Cthulhu warriors or whatever to keep trying to get at you there while you're doing the fight. It felt right. It felt good. Everything just felt really in place, and especially on your way up when you talk to one gal that's over the bridge and there's the huge tentacle just like right over top of you, and both characters are like, that's a crazy monster tentacle, isn't it? And then she's all like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're insulting me. This is rude. Get out of here. And this, the view of it and how weird and creepy it does feel and ominous. And then you go on and keep going further and then you get to all this. It just really is doing a great job of making me feel like I am indeed in a really cool H.P. Lovecraft story, but with, of course, a fun Borderlands twist to it.
And speaking of fun things in Borderlands, we talked about it. It's so good to see our boy Deathtrap, except he's our beautiful baby boy. Like little tiny baby default Deathtrap without his giant spikes and his big huge arm and his all his accoutrements that I remember from Borderlands 2. But it just makes me happy seeing him fly around. Like the point where we left off when he flew down and brought up Wainwright. No spoiler. Well, I mean, not really a spoiler, but whatever.
I'm sure everybody's already done beat this dang thing already. So
yeah, but seeing him float down and get him, and carrying him around, just seeing Deathtrap doing things makes me happy. I was afraid that he would like show up and then get broken immediately, but no, he's hanging out. He's cruising around. He's cruising and bruising.
And I'm hoping that they stick to doing that. That they're having we talked about this before, having characters with you while you're on your adventures. So far, A+. Yeah. You've had Gage and Deathtrap with you, then you get to the town, the lodge, and you're hanging out, doing a little bit of solo, then all of a sudden, hey, Wainwright's with you. He's in there running, gunning, having a lot of quirky little things he's talking about and saying as you go. Boom, big event. And then he said Deathtrap swoops back in again. Gage is there. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. I'm part of the team. I've got everybody interacting with me. I'm actually with them doing cool, heroic stuff.
Yep.
I'm part of the story. Yay. Yay for me. I feel great.
And not just I'm part of the story, but the gang is back together. You and I are back together. We're playing different characters, but our characters who we both played are right there with us too. It felt like home, but also in like a creepy Lovecraft home.
That's right.
Which I mean, that does feel like home.
Close to home anyway.
Exactly, yeah.
I agree. So overall, we haven't got far, as you all know and can tell. We've only got to that part. But all the same, loving it though so far. And next week, at some point, hopefully we can finagle something and do another couple-hour session of it. I'll have to talk off air, and we'll figure that out. So that way we can provide you guys with more takes on what we think going forward here.
Absolutely. So wrapping that up, we're going to move on to the hot fix from this week, in which case Eric just gets everything he wants because they buff Moe's like in every single fucking way they could ever fucking imagine. That's a lot
so
of beefs
good.
because I'm fucking pissed because Flack didn't even get shit.
He doesn't need it. He's one of the best characters in the game. You know.
Well, I mean, I know that,
Stop
but
it.
I'm just like, if I can be even better, if I can be even more best, it makes me feel even more good.
I had to sign another blood pack. So not only do I get all the loot, but they're finally going to go ahead and make Moe's even stronger, even better. I get to pull up Iron Bear even more. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm excited. I cannot wait. Getting an Iron Bear even more is going to be a great time. I love hopping in there. Boom, 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 boom. Blowing things up, hopping right back out. And with the special abilities and whatnot and perks, you can get it to where you're down to popping in and out of her really fast.
Also, there were some weapon buffs in there, too. The one thing I really do appreciate, I wanted to pick at least something out that I could appreciate for this hotfix, other than what you just said, which I wasn't anticipating. But the one thing that I pulled out of this hotfix that I do like is they've also buffed the Hyperion weapon shields. Like, I like the concept of them, but I never really noticed them all that much. I feel like they would go down pretty easy by the time I was using them heavily in True Vault Hunter Mayhem level 2 and up. So if they got a little bit of buff so they can stay out a little longer so I can enjoy them, so I can live forever like I always do, it's just a good thing. Buffs are always nice. I will never say no to a buff of any gun or any sort. So it's just great to see that, and it gave me at least something to hang on to in this hotfix, as opposed to just lighting my notes on fire and throwing them in a shred bin at work.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I'm also glad you found the silver lining in your sadness, Matt. I, of course, like I already just said, I'm super happy. I can't wait to get on Moe's and play around with all my new buffs. And the weapon balance and stuff, I didn't really see anything that pertained to me. None of those weapons or anything I like to use. I do have a nice Anointed Damned in my bank, so I'm like, well, maybe with increased weapon damage on that, I'll pull it out and just take another peek at it. But other than that, none of the other things I don't touch. So, honestly, don't really care. Sorry.
And so that wraps up all of my show notes, unless you got anything else, Eric. I think it's pretty much time to wrap it up because it's a quarter end special. It's a shortened episode, but Eric's got to go to work and I got to go to sleep. See, look, even we can barely even manage to make the show work, let alone put in some more time on all the video games. So what are you guys thinking of the initial parts of the new DLC? Did you like going through the lodge? I mean, we joked about not putting much time into it, but we spent a lot of time running through that lodge all the way up
and
in every
down,
single
every
room,
crevice.
every single interactable thing we hit, and looked at every single poster, every inch of it. So it's not like we didn't do anything, but we spent a lot of time just having fun in that world. So are you enjoying the world? Is it all the Lovecrafting that you were expecting it to be? Let us know, and also send us any questions, comments, concerns, any kind of feedback at all via email at info@thirdshift.me, tweet at us at thirdShiftME, and find us on Facebook under Third Shift.
Indeed you can. You can also find us over there on the Patreon. We treat it just like a little old tip jar. If this week you said, man, those guys need a boost, or you did a great job or something, hey, boop, pop a buck in. Pop $2 in, $3 in, $5, $1,000, or maybe that coveted $1 million, in which case we'll uproot everything we know and do to build a food line. Woo! We'll have babies in jars all along the aisles. Matt's got his baby in jar on his head already. He's ready to go. Yeah. We're going to have the soon-to-be patented cold cocks down the miles. You know what I'm talking about. Y'all need some of those. Trust me. And, of course, we're going to have the cameras set up everywhere. Zany employees being ridiculous all over the place. We're going to have people dressed in costumes running around, koi fish, you name it. It's going to be a good time. I'm actually terrified that someday it's going to come true. And my life's probably going to be ruined. But if it does... No, pause, stop. Our lives are ruined right now, so they could only be better. You're probably right. All right, never mind. Go ahead and do that. But if you can't, throw us a buck or two either. I get it. I understand, especially right now. It's freaking crazy times right now. Yeah. You can still support us. You can send us the Facebook likes, those little thumbs up and stuff. Get us on those. Subscribe, follow us on all the different platforms. You can send us 5-star ratings over on the iTunes, which gets us higher up in the charts. Makes people go, oh, what's this crazy podcast? It's got a lot of high 5-star ratings. I don't know. I guess I'll play it and see what I like. And if they like us, boom, there's another listener. It's great for us. That's the way it works, folks. You can, as well as Matt said, hey, challenge us to art contest. mailbag questions, all sorts of things, anything that gets you guys participating and talking to us. We love it. Makes us feel great. We got to give a shout out to 10K Beers. He's always out there throwing us, love and talking to us and just making us feel good. Oh man, Steve Cadwalder. You guys are the best. Thank you. Keep it up. What, Matt? Matt was looking at me crazy for half a second.
No,
I'm seeing ghosts. Sorry, everybody. I'm delirious. I gotta go to work. I don't even know what's happening. Hey, thanks everybody. We appreciate you out there.
And hey, speaking of putting in work, this podcast never sleeps. We never skip an episode, so we'll be back in your ear holes on the 10th of April for our very next episode, in which we might either be literally dead or figuratively dead, or maybe Eric will rotate back and we'll be full of energy because we have hope, because we'll be seeing a weekend on the horizon. But either way, you can find that episode on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podbean, on Spotify, and on YouTube. And as I always say, if you like what we're doing and you'd like to help us out, please give us a like, rating, review, a comment, a subscription, any kind of good thing on any one of those good services, because it does help us out. And we really do appreciate it. Now, I say it all the time. God damn it, I appreciate it. So, thank you. And please do it. And then thanks when you do it. You know what I'm saying. Look, it's quarter end. Who cares? That's it. I'm over it. We're done.
That's it. We do appreciate you, and there's nothing else to say, Matt. But
don't forget to save.
Wish me luck, everybody. Here we go.
Shut up and sit down.